Hello, welcome to Training Tuesday. We're back for another Training Tuesday, and tonight we're going to talk about the insanity that we are all about to step into. 52 days left in the year. 52 days. Are you ready? How ready are you? So, before I dive into the topic, I'm just going to give you a warning tonight. As you guys know, Training Tuesday is a live event. I'm here. It's 6 o'clock here in the lovely East Coast. It looks like midnight outside. Thank you, daylight savings or non-daylight savings, because I think that's what we're in right now. My dog is outside, and I kind of have no doubt, the way my day's been going, that at some point in the middle of all this, he's going to bark and ask me to let him in. My son is in the kitchen cooking, and no joke, the fire alarm has gone off no fewer than 3 times past half hour. So I'm also not guaranteeing that there isn't going to be some sort of fire emergency, which is really a non-emergency because the 3 times it's gone off, there was no fire. In fact, he hadn't even burned anything. Just whatever he's cooking, it was smoking a bit, and it appears to be a very sensitive fire alarm. So I'm just going to warn you that tonight may very well be a bit of chaos, which in a way is kind of appropriate because we're really talking about tonight how we're managing chaos for the rest of the year, right? The whole topic tonight was how do we find peace and balance in this holiday season, right? No matter what the holidays throw at us. And what I started thinking about before I even came on board, because the fire alarm's going off and my dog has been a pill trying to get in and out of the house all day, and I'm fighting some sort of cold thing, so if I lose my voice, I apologize. Right, all of this is going on, plus there's just all the activities of the day, and I was like, who needs the holidays? Who needs the holidays for this kind of chaos? It happens every day. And then I started thinking about, well, what does the holidays look like, right? What do the next? We have 52 days left in the year. 52 days. So the next 7 to 8 weeks, what does that look like for you? I'm traveling. I'm traveling starting next week, and then I'm gone for the entire Thanksgiving break, so through the end of the month. And discovered the chaos of purchasing airline tickets at this time of year, which is horrible, by the way. I do not recommend it. So much so, I'm going to visit my parents, and when I told my parents the ticket prices, they were like, you should just come out like the 3rd of December and stay, right? We started deciding we were going to pick our own dates for these holidays so that we could get the off-season prices. So, other story. But think about that. Simple things like a trip. Even if it's to see family, which is familiar and comfortable, it still disrupts our schedule. I'll still be in a different time zone. I'll still have all my normal activities and things somewhere else, but I'll have the added layer of family obligations, things that I don't normally have sitting here in my house, right? So the holidays add an extra layer. If we think normal day-to-day life is chaos, and hey, Jackie, I see you're there. Jackie and I were just talking about how busy day-to-day life gets and how it feels chaotic and there's so much going on, and it's not even that it's bad. There's just a lot. There's just a lot. And now we're going to slap on top of it the holidays. Hi, Joyce. Good to see you. So, my first question to you is, are you ready? Are you guys ready? Joyce and Jackie, you're here. You're saying hi. Are you ready? Are you ready for the holidays? You could just drop Y or yes or say the whole, whatever you want to say about it. But are you ready for the holidays? Because I am not. I am not panicked, but I am not ready. I am not ready. I am not one of those big pre-planner people. I'd like to be. I mean, sometimes I wish I were one of those. All my Christmas presents are bought in the Christmas in July sale, but they're not. Joyce said, no, that's. See, Jackie, you're one of those prepared, organized people. You are. You were thinking ahead. Joyce is just like, no way, not even thinking about it. And that's just it. I'm a little more like you, Joyce. Like I when it's in front of me, is typically when I focus on it. So I'm not a huge pre-planner. I wish I were, but this is how I roll. I know this about myself. And I have decided I accept this about myself. So, how do you guys roll? That's what we really want to work through this holiday season, is the how do you roll? And are you rolling in a way that's going to really let you enjoy the next 7 or 8 weeks? Or are you going to be more like that wound up ticking time bomb kind of thing? Could go either way. All right. So for Jackie and Joyce, thank you for being here and saying hello. For everybody else, welcome to Training Tuesday. My name is Natalie Hahn. I am CEO of Dirty Girls Consulting, and you are here in Accelerating Leadership for Professional Women. This is our private Facebook group for women only, talking about leadership and confidence and all these things. And tonight we're talking about how we get through the holidays with peace. With peace and balance in our lives, instead of the exhaustion and the frustration and the stress that typically comes with it. So, how much are you looking forward to the holidays? Like, if you guys don't mind dropping, scale of 1 to 10. 1 being not at all, I hate them, I could do without them. 10, my favorite time of year. Where are you in terms of the holiday spectrum? How much is the time period between, let's say, Halloween and Martin Luther King Day? Let's get into the new year. How much of that is your window? Like, this is your time of year. Jackie's a 9. That doesn't surprise me about you, Jackie. Joyce, your birthday's the week before Thanksgiving. Good for you. Yeah, I think the people with holiday birthdays have a hard time. I've always talked about one of the reasons that I used to get super stressed about the holidays. And I would say this time of year, okay, Joyce, you can't pick 5. You got to pick a 4 or a 6. 5 is like right in the middle. That's very non-committal. 4 or 6. Which way do you lean this time of year? I've always been super stressed in the holidays because it's birthday season. So much like Joyce, I've got a kid born in December, in January, and February. And then on top, okay, Joyce, leaning towards a 6. Awesome. And then in December alone, not only is it one of my son's birthdays, but it's my mother's birthday. It's my grandmother's birthday. I have cousins. All 3 of my U.S. cousins are also born in December. It's just like a mash. It's a mash of birthdays and parties. And I always feel like that those of you who have birthdays close to holidays like this get a little bit gypped, right? So if that's your experience, Joyce, I'm sorry. But I agree with you. Definitely, it should not start. Christmas should not start until we've gotten through Thanksgiving. I was walking around my neighborhood last night and somebody already has Christmas decorations up. And I was just like, we just got done with Halloween. There it is. All right. So tonight, talking about all this chaos, I want to focus on 3 things you need. The 3 tools you need to leverage, to hold on to, so that you can sail through a great holiday season. Not just a good one, but a great one. Peace and balance and joy. So these are 3 tools that are at your disposal that do not cost you money. So you can use them any day, anytime. You have them now. But if you don't use these tools, and if you don't use these tools, you have them. If you don't use them, they do cost you something. So Joyce, you love the holidays, just not the hassle, yeah. Oh, see, November is yours, December is ours. Hey, Jackie, also December. What does it say about it? It says you love your birthday month. That whole month is just a big party for you. All right, so here's what I want you to think about. When it comes to holiday stress, we're going to talk about the stress side of things, right? When it comes to going into, whether it's the holiday season or any season, right? It doesn't have to be the holidays, just kind of any period of time where you are walking in going, the next few weeks are going to be overload. I'm going to be overwhelmed. I'm going to be stressed. This is going to be hard. What does it cost you? Drop for me in the chat. What does it cost you? If you are walking into a period of time where you already know, I'm going to be stressed out. This is going to be hard. What's the cost? For me, the cost typically is time. The cost to me is time. Mental health. Yeah, exactly, Jackie. Mental health, right? Because we're worrying, and worrying is not a healthy thing. We're stressed. Stress has a mental impact and a physical impact. For me, it's time, because if I get into like worry wart mode, typically my head is spinning around a bunch of things, trying to solve or do a bunch of things, which means nothing's really getting done particularly well. Stress eating is my go-to. There is not a potato chip or a piece of chocolate safe in a good 15-mile radius of my house when I am in a super stressed mode. Like, I will go find it if I need it. So I hear you on that one. So yeah, we our physical health, our mental health, this whole concept of work-life balance, if we think we had it in some sort of delicate mode, we definitely, it goes right out the window in periods of high stress. Sleep. A lot of the women I work with complain about lack of sleep, not because the time to sleep isn't there, but because they can't quiet their mind enough to get the sleep done. Patience. Right? When we're feeling stressed, we start getting really short-tempered. Enjoyment, yes, nothing is fun. Exactly. Joy, happiness, any sort of pleasure in the moment of where you're at or where you're going goes out the window. Money. Money can become a stress factor in these times of overwhelm and stress and frustration. Especially if we're wasting time and we have a connection between, look, my time is valuable and worth money, and I just lost that money because I was worried over here or doing this. Relationships. Our relationships can really suffer if we're not managing our stress particularly well, if we are not being mindful of what's triggering the overwhelm and how we're responding to it. Peace of mind, sex. Let's just see if you're paying attention, but honestly, who's in the mood for sex when you've got all this stuff on your mind, or when your mother-in-law is in the next bedroom, right? It's just, these are things we lose, though. These are the things we lose. This is the cost. This is the cost of not having peace of mind, of not having balance in your life at any time, but just especially this seems to be true during the holidays. So given all these outcomes, the physical, the mental, the emotional, the other people around you, the impact, it impacts our job, it impacts our ability to be productive, it impacts how we think and how we feel, right? Given all those outcomes, how important is it to you that we mitigate the risk? We say that a lot in the corporate world. We're going to mitigate that risk. How important is it that we're going to take care of this? That we're going to make sure that this is not the monumental problem that it might have been in the past? Because as I was saying earlier, right, I used to get very stressed out because for me, it was like, holy cow, it's a money drain between December and February. I've got all 3 kids' birthdays. I've got other relatives' birthdays all piled up in December. Plus, typically the time I travel to go see family, I'm broke. And money stress definitely led to eating, stress eating, which definitely led to me not feeling good about myself, right? And it becomes a snowball effect. So 3 tools. I want to share with you the 3 tools that you have already, but that became critically important to for me to understand and for you to take control over what is potentially any stressful period in your life, not just the holidays. Now, these are the tools that we go way more in depth on. We teach these in depth in my 6-week course. It's the Lotus Leadership Program, and I'm happy to tell you guys more about that if you want to hear about it, but we're going to focus tonight on the 3 tools because they are simple. They are very simple tools. They're just not always easy. They're not always easy for us to wield in order to fight off that holiday stress, but they are they should be part of your everyday toolkit. These should be tools that you are comfortable whipping out at any moment when you need them to say, okay, it is time to manage my stress, to increase joy and peace in my life, and to manage work-life balance. So, are you ready? Excuse me, I told you that I'm fighting a cold. All right. Tool number 1, at your fingertips. Prioritize. I know, don't you hate that? You hate that because you knew that was coming. Prioritize. Do what matters. That is my coach's mantra. I have a brilliant coach that I work with who I think she's going to get it printed, she said, on hats. And when she does, I'm going to get one and I'm going to wear it for you guys because she's spot on. Do what matters. We spend an awful lot of time doing an awful lot of stuff that actually doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to us. It doesn't matter to our priorities. It may not even matter all that much to the people we're doing it for. But we get caught in this whirlwind of doing these things, and there's all kinds of reasons why. So the tool that I use the most often to figure out what are the priorities right now, what are the priorities for the next 52 days between today and the end of the year, I use the 5-5-5 rule. And some of you may have heard me talk about that before, but I use the 5-5-5 rule. When I have conflicting interests, a whole list of to-do things going on that I've got to sort through, and I already know there's no work-life balance in my life if I'm going to get all these things done. I'm going to likely, and the choice we often make is work's going to get all my time and my family's going to suffer, and then I'm going to feel guilty about this, right? Or I'll go take care of my family because it's the holidays, but in the back of our head, we're beating ourselves up for not being there at work, right? We do a really good job of beating ourselves up. So the 5-5-5 rule says, this thing, does it matter in 5 minutes? Will it matter in 5 months? Will it matter in 5 years? What's the impact of this thing? If I have a list of 20 things to do, 5 minutes, 5 months, 5 years, how important is it? And do this all the time. It's a coach's favorite tool. On a scale of 1 to 10, not important at all, super important to me in the next 5 minutes. How important is it in the next 5 months? How important is it in the next 5 years? So think of it this way. It's the holidays, but you're working, because work doesn't stop because of the holidays. We know that. So you could spend 20 more minutes, 30 more minutes shooting off more emails, getting things organized, right? Making sure the team has everything they need and all that good work stuff. Or you can shut it down right now, which means some things go unanswered, some things don't happen. Work has to wait till tomorrow. And instead you're going to play Monopoly with your nephew. Okay. There's no right answer, by the way. The 5-5-5 rule is about what's most important in the next 5 minutes, what's going to be most important for the next 5 months, what's going to be important in the next 5 years. In the next 5 minutes, is it really that critical that those emails get out? Maybe to the people you're sending them to. Maybe. Will they remember that criticality in the next 5 months? I'm going to guess no. Will they even remember the email at all in the next 5 years? Absolutely not. Flip side, if we're talking about playing Monopoly with our nephews, in the next 5 minutes, how important is it to them? In the next 5 months, how much will they remember that? In the next 5 years, how important will that be? Kids and memories, right? So that's kind of an easy one. There are others that are not so easy, but this rule still applies to help us prioritize, right? Think about Saturday. It's Saturday, and I can spend all day cooking the homemade meal for my family coming over for Sunday dinner. Or I could spend the day going to yoga, hanging out with some girlfriends, relaxing, rejuvenating some of me. Which just means Sunday's meal either isn't going to be quite as pre-planned and nice, or it's going to get catered, right? I'm going to go buy the rotisserie chicken. I'm going to call the restaurant down the street for the crab rangoon that I love, right? So I'm going to do some trade-offs. There is no right or wrong answer to that. It really is the matter of 5-5-5. What's going to make the most difference? What's going to be the most important to me in the next 5 minutes, 5 months, 5 years? So if my priority is I want to be sure my family has an amazing time at this dinner tomorrow, and part of my expression of sharing the joy and sharing the love is that I'm going to make that pecan pie, then you might elect to choose the day cooking, and that's fine. If the priority for you is I have been running so hard and so fast that I'm hitting a wall and my self-care really matters right now, or I'm going to have no good juju for the family when they come tomorrow, then maybe the yoga and the brunch with the girlfriends and the shopping or whatever we're doing is the better option. Because in the next 5 minutes, maybe it doesn't matter so much whether you get out the door to yoga or get out and see your girlfriends, but in the next 5 months, you will have rejuvenated yourself to have a pleasant family dinner and to have that time bonded with your girlfriends. You know what it gives you. You know how important that is. In the next 5 years, you have those memories to look back on. So the prioritization is about what matters to you. And the best way to measure it without making it a judgment call of who's more important is to remember that you are the only one who's important in this, and then use the 5-5-5 rule to measure the impact. How much impact is it going to have? So when we do all the things that are not a priority, right? When we're looking at our list of 20 things to do in a day, and we're like, but I have to do all of it. We're insisting that we have to do all of it because we do that. We get drained. Doing all the things doesn't actually make us feel productive and we check the list off. It drains us. If the things on the list are not things that we love to do, are not things that even if we don't love to do them, they're moving us closer to the goals. Whether the goal is a brilliant family dinner, whether the goal is building a life and decorating my house, whether the goal is spending time with people I care about, whether the goal is completing that work project on time. If we're not doing the things that we care about, that are valuable to us, all those to-dos, they just exhaust us. They exhaust us. We don't feel productive by checking off the list of things that make us grouchy. It just makes us grouchy because we never wanted to do the thing in the first place. It didn't matter. It's just off our plate. It's relief, but there's some resentment under that, right? There's some anger under that. So, do what matters, to quote my coach Amanda. Do what matters. We do feel productive and energized when we stick to the priorities that matter to us. Now, that's tool number one. Tool number one is prioritize. You need to prioritize what's really on your list and look at what's actually important. Do what matters. Thank you, Amanda Kaufman. All right. Tool number two. It's another one you're going to groan. Can you guess what it is? You guys know what tool number two is? Tool number two. Say no. I know you hate that. I know you hate that. There are all kinds of reasons why you can't say no. All kinds. I know that. You tell me, what are the reasons you give for why you can't say no? Drop it in the chat if you're willing. Why don't you say no? What stops you from telling somebody, I can't do that for you, I don't have the time? Because our inability to say no is the number one reason why we're stressed. When we can't say no, it means we're not prioritizing. We're not holding to the boundary of this is my priority list, and I don't have time for anything that falls outside of that. Our inability to say no is part of our people-pleasing pattern. It's where we go to make ourselves feel valuable, to make ourselves feel wanted, to feel like we're doing the good thing. It's part of that good girl groove pattern. The inability to say no means you are putting other people's priorities ahead of your own. Other people's priorities are getting done, and you are saying, not mine, yours. Yours are more important. We don't say no. We say no. We say no. We don't say no. Negatives, double negatives. Good Lord. We don't say no because we don't want to let people down. We don't want to be seen as uncooperative, not a team player. We think that person needs me. I'm the only one who can do this, or I can do this better than somebody else. I can do it faster. We have all kinds of reasons, right? We don't want to deal with somebody else's disappointment or anger or hurt or frustration. We don't want to be responsible for that if we say no. It's just easier to say yes and move on. Are any of those good reasons? Sometimes. Sometimes it's a good reason to say yes so that you get somebody off your back. You don't have the hard conversation. There might be times when that's appropriate. There might be. But saying yes to something that is not your priority, right? It is not one of your priority. It eats into your schedule, eats into your time and your energy, and it prevents you from doing the things that are your priorities. It prevents you from doing what matters. And that is 100% on you. That's your responsibility. Your inability to say no, and your general you, I include myself in that. I find myself with the inability to say no. Our inability to say no, correct. Our collective ability to not say, to say no. Our collective inability to say no. Again, messing with the double negatives. We need to own that. Because we have a choice. We always have a choice. We don't always like the outcomes, the possibilities, but we do have a choice. And we rationalize all the reasons why we can't say no. We rationalize them. We're fantastic rationalizers, right? That's what the human brain is brilliant at. We're brilliant at. But if you want peace of mind, if you want the work-life balance, if you want to enjoy the holiday season, the one that you envision, the way you envision it for you, for your family, for your friends, then we need to learn how to rationalize saying no. Because it's not your priority. It doesn't get you closer to your goal. It doesn't benefit you. It doesn't benefit your family. It doesn't benefit the vision you have for the life or the experience that you want. Doesn't align with your values. It's not your job. Yes, really. There are times when it is 100% appropriate to say, not my job. Because it's not. Every time you say yes, you are trading something. There's a cost to it. You are trading something you want for something you don't want. Yes is a currency. No is a currency. So how much are you willing to pay to say yes? Is it worth the cost when you could have paid a no? So yeah, paying the no price, they might get upset. They might be furious. I love that phrase, Joyce. Not my circus, not my monkeys. It's so true. And I totally understand. It's so much harder to actually live that mantra. It's hard for us to remember that because we feel like I can just see how to fix this. Or I could do that just so much faster. Get out of the way. Right? But it's true. So much of what we commit to or get involved in could be done by someone else, right? We're concerned that they're not going to like us. They're going to be mad at us. They're going to judge us. They're going to judge us for not being cooperative, for not being supportive, for not being any number of things. And that feels like a high price to pay, doesn't it? But the question is it? Because we need to ask ourselves, first of all, how important is their priority to you? What does their priority and what they're asking of you actually have to do with you and where you want to get to in your career, in your life? How much is their priority also your priority? And then we have to ask ourselves, what's the worst that happens if they get upset? What is the worst that happens if they throw a tantrum or they get angry or they stop talking to you? Play the worst that happens scenario out to the end and see if it's really as bad as you think it is. Because most of the time when we're afraid of something, we're building it up in our heads. And when we actually rationally play it out, we're kind of like, it's not so bad. It's not so bad if Aunt Matilda refuses to come to another Thanksgiving dinner. Maybe I could live without that. The other thing to ask yourself is, what's another way they could solve this problem, right? If somebody's hitting you up to solve their challenge, to be part of their solution or part of their action because it's their priority and it's not your priority, what's another way they could go about it? If you have an idea or suggestion, why not throw it out there? So one is prioritize. You have to prioritize what's in front of you. And two is you have to learn how to say the word no with grace and power and confidence. And three, give yourself permission. And I'm sorry for the cold. Give yourself permission to prioritize. Give yourself permission to say no. Give yourself permission to be less than perfect. Give yourself permission to take the damn bubble bath. Go shopping. Do yoga. Give yourself permission to not get it all done. To not be everybody's hero. To not be Superwoman for the holidays. Because here's the thing, our whole depiction of Superwoman, it's just messed up. It's wrong. It's just this idea of being a perfectionist and being that perfect hostess, that perfect daughter, perfect mother, perfect partner, perfect employee, coworker, boss, right? That we feel ashamed that somehow we didn't do better. We didn't do more. And the standard we set is impossible. The perfect woman voice in our head, right? That imposter voice in our head that tells us we would be a better woman if. We would be a better boss if. That voice in our head, it's not, it lies to us. It lies to us. I want you to give yourself permission to make the choices that matter to you. Make the choices that matter to you. Give yourself permission to have people mad at you. To have people mad at you and to not take on their anger as yours. They chose their reaction, not you. They chose to be upset. They chose to be angry. They chose to walk away. Maybe they chose to say, okay, and find another way to solve their issue. People do that, you know. They do. People accept the no. When we learn how to say it with confidence and power and some grace, they don't take it as a rejection of them personally, because that's not what's going on. And you don't have to over-explain. You don't have to justify or defend. There are ways to say no with grace and to let go of the baggage that somebody else might be chucking at you because it's their baggage. You don't have to carry it for them. So all those things we feel really come down to fear, right? We're afraid that we will not be respected, that we will not be liked, that we won't be loved. Okay. It's okay, because we all feel that. We all feel afraid of losing love. We all feel afraid of not being seen, not being recognized, not being accepted. That's okay. We all feel that. It's normal. It's normal because we all have the gremlin voices in our head. We all have the imposter voice that pops up at sometimes the worst possible times to say, you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, you're not pretty enough, you're not thin enough, you're not fast enough, whatever, you're not enough. And we go, oh, it's right. I would be a better mother if. I would be a better partner if. I would be a better boss if. We finish the sentence for them. And it's not a true voice. It's just our voice of our fear. So give yourself permission to feel the things, and then to rationalize saying no, to prioritize what's in front of you, to say no, and then to enjoy your peace and your balance for the holidays. So to help you through this and to help you through the next 52 days, I have a freebie for you if you'd like it. The freebie is Prioritize the Mess. It's a little cheat sheet of just if you need 10 minutes to just reset your brain and give yourself a break from the overwhelm, drop the word priority in the chat and I will send it your way. It's got 3 quick tips essentially for the whole take 10 minutes, right? 3 tips, 3 exercises in 10 minutes to just reset your brain into doing what matters right now. Imposter voice. Oh yeah, Joyce, that's like you are ruining my holidays, right? You're ruining the holidays for everybody. If you'd only do the thing that they wanted you to do, the holidays would be perfect. It's the worst. It's the worst. The guilt that we think we're somehow responsible for everything everyone else is choosing to feel. What's up with that, right? All right, I have 2 announcements before I let you go this Tuesday night. One is, I mentioned earlier, the Lotus program. It's the Lotus Leadership Program. It's a 6-week course. We dig into these topics. We dig into prioritizing. We dig into how to say no, how to set boundaries, how to develop this work-life balance idea. Plus, we're working on, over the 6 weeks, leadership skills that really help you take your career to the next level and step up your confidence so that wherever you're going, you're showing up as the best, most dynamic, most vibrant version of you as a leader. So if you would like to talk about the course, you can drop the word Lotus in the comments and in the chat below, and I will be happy to reach out to you to to schedule some time. If you want to skip the line, if you just want to skip the line of that, then here, I'm gonna give you guys a cheat. Can I give you a cheat? How do I do this? Let's see. I'm gonna give you a cheat. I'm gonna drop in the comments the link to as soon as I find it, I'm gonna drop in the comments the link for you guys to just skip the line and just sign up with me directly. It's a 15-minute chat, and what we'll talk about in the 15 minutes is just figuring out, is this course or is it not something that would be a good fit for you? So that's the first thing, is if you're interested in the 6-week course and kind of digging deeper into these leadership skills, then, here we go. Why is it not working? Hold on, see, I told you the beauty of lives is, give me that. Put it here. There we go. That's your skip the line link. Is it going? Good heavens. That is your skip the line link. All right, second announcement is Thursday night. What are you doing Thursday night? Thursday night I'm running a workshop. This workshop is for the Dirty Girls in this community only. So you have to be a member of one of my Dirty Girls communities, one of my prior courses, or in this group in order to attend. It's a workshop called Balance and Boundaries. Go figure, right? Very common theme. But we want to talk about how we create freedom, success, and joy without the exhaustion and frustration. So we're going to go deeper, right, than we did tonight on what are the things we can do to ensure that we have a solid foundation for creating both balance and boundaries in our life. So if you would like to sign up for the workshop, it's 7 o'clock Eastern time, 4 o'clock Pacific time, this Thursday, like the day after tomorrow. So if you haven't signed up, I would love to see you there. Like I said, it's exclusive just to this community. So look, I'm going to drop another link now that I figured it out. So sign up for the workshop there. It's a free workshop. I would love to see you there. And it's a workshop. So it's not my normal master classes where we're online for an hour, hour and a half, and we're talking, but we're talking. The workshop, we'll be talking, but we'll actually be doing the work. So you'll get a workbook in advance. I want you to have pen and paper ready, or do it online. You can open the PDF online and work on it that way. But we will be doing the actual work together in the workshop. So plan on it for being about 2 hours, and we will have a great time setting the foundation for how do we create boundaries and balance and boundaries to create freedom, success, and joy in our lives without the exhaustion and frustration, which I also thought was just kind of timely in terms, not only was it timely in terms of time of year, but actually balance and boundaries were the number one thing that you guys in this community said you wanted to learn more about and that you wanted more skills on. So rather than doing a typical masterclass, I figured let's do a workshop. Let's make it really hands-on and practical so that you're walking away knowing exactly how to implement the tools and how to use them. All right. Thank you so much for joining me tonight for Training Tuesday. So just a reminder, if you want the freebie cheat sheet on prioritizing the mess, drop the word priority in the comments. And I've got the link there for the mini course, for the Load mini course. I'm reading and talking at the same time. For the Lotus 6-week workshop. The Lotus 6-week course is the one that says DGC Mini Dig. That's just a free 15-minute chat to see if it's a fit or not. And then the second link is for the Balance and Boundaries workshop this Thursday night. Have a fantastic evening, ladies, and thank you for joining me tonight. I will see you again next week.